Welcome, CIS 106 student. This video is in lieu of us missing class the first week. So we'll talk next week about how we're going to try to make up for this class. This is one way that we will be making up for this class is by me posting this video. So it is your task to please make sure that you log into the Blackboard section of the site. And you will see that when you do log in, there are several announcements that I've posted. One of the most important is to make sure that you are able to get to My Programming Lab. You will need this access code to get into it. You really can't be successful in this course without My Programming Lab. So many of the things we're going to be doing as far as programming, we'll be talking about that next week. You also need to make sure you do the Academic Integrity Pledge. There's information in week 1 on how to access this as well. One more thing from My Programming Lab, if you do need help, you will need to call their tech support, and this is the number for that. So these announcements are right here posted for you. Please do these things. You need to go to Academic Integrity Pledge. I will not grade any of your work until you do that. And you must be in My Programming Lab. It's my expectation between this week and next week that you go into My Programming Lab and do the first chapter or 2 of work between this week and next week. That'll give you a background of trying to be ahead of the game. We can get a head start on what we could have been doing this week. There's way too much to do in a 7-week course for us to miss. So we're already behind the 8 ball, and we got to try to get on the ball here and get started. So if you go to week 1, you will see that I've given you the link again to My Programming Lab. Here's your access code, the phone number for help if you need that. You also will see a link here to the Academic Integrity Pledge. Please make sure you use my email address because it will send me an email that you have done the Academic Integrity Pledge. You also will see the syllabus. You need to please look that over. We'll do some brief discussion on that next week, but you need to look over that as well. You should have the textbook in your possession, and you should be reading chapters 1 through 3 and chapters 12 and 13. I will tell you straight up that I will spend a lot of time focusing on the Java material, which starts with chapter 12. I will focus primarily on Java for this class. There is other work that we will be doing, but I will spend a lot of time focusing on the Java information. There's also an assignment that I do expect you to do between now and next week, and that is the web search. You will see assignment number 1 right here. For the web search, there's an explanation on how to do that. It's really quite simple. One of the things you're basically doing in this is that you are trying to set up using a program called Eclipse, which I will talk more about that in class next week, but I would like you to try to go through and do this web search. It says here that it is due February 1st. That is Sunday evening. It is my expectation that you will be completing work and assignments by Sunday evening, which is the night right before every class on Monday night. I've also given instructions for how to install Eclipse, and you will need a tool called the Java Development Kit, sometimes called the SDK, the Software Development Kit. There's instructions here on how to do this. Now just be aware, these instructions were not made by me, so they may be a little cryptic, and we'll talk more about how to install Eclipse, but really all I'm looking for you to do with the web search, and you can see the information in here when you go into the assignment, but in the PDF. But I just want you to give me a screenshot or a Word document, one or the other, of verification that you were successful in your installs. You will need 2 things again. You will need the Java Development Kit, or sometimes called the Software Development Kit, and Eclipse. Eclipse is a tool that helps us run Java programs. Okay, so you have a lot to get started with. Please go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you real quick what My Programming Lab looks like. When you log in, you will see this interface. What you are to do between this week and next is you are to do My Programming Lab chapters 1 and 2. After reading the chapters, this will make more sense. but you're to do chapters 1 and 2. Now, you don't have to do anything in Blackboard with this. You're doing it in my programming lab, but I mention it in Blackboard so you know about it. So you're going to go into my programming lab, and what you will do is on the left-hand side, once you're enrolled in my class, you should see, I hope, on the left-hand side, this folder called Spring 2015 Assignments. This is the folder you want to go into. And you want to go into Chapter 12, and you want to complete the assignments related to Chapter 12. Now, just be aware, not every chapter will have quite this many questions. Chapter 12 is very easy. They're multiple choice, true, false questions. Fill in the blank. It's very short, easy questions. For example, here's question 1. It says, when a program runs on a computer, the part of the computer that carries out the instructions is called the, and you type in the answer. Here's another question, second question here. Don't worry about the numbering convention system. When a program is not running, it is stored, and you have to just click on the correct answer. So chapter 12 is very straightforward, should not take you very long. If you've read the chapter and the text, you've actually read the actual textbook, then it should be very straightforward. Chapter 13 gets a little bit more complex. Now you have to write information. So you're going to actually type some code. So it says here, write a complete program whose class name is hello, and that displays hello world on the screen. So I want you to attempt to do this. So just be aware that my programming lab is very, very picky and wants you to name things exactly as it tells you to. So you're to actually write a very simple Java program whose class name is hello, and it displays hello world on the screen. So here we're going to create a class called a public class, and it's called hello. I'm going to add curly brackets, and we'll be doing this in class next week. And then I'm going to add public static void main string args, and my curly brackets, and it says that it displays hello world on the screen. So I'm going to do a system.out.print. I could do print line, and this will make a lot more sense after you read through the chapter. And notice it says hello, comma, world. And my programming lab can be very nitpicky. It wants to have exactly as you have it. So I'm going to type hello, comma, space, world, exactly as you see it. And then when I click submit, if all goes well, yeah, I got that right. So I just gave you an answer. How about that? So if you look at the next one, it says, suppose your name was George Gershwin, write a complete main method that would print your last name. So in other words, you're just writing the main method. You don't need the whole class. So in this case, we're going to type public static void main string args. So I'm not worried about the class in this case. And it says, would print your last name. So if my name is George Gershwin, what's my last name? So I'm just going to do the print stuff, which is just system.out.print, and it says my last name, which is Gershwin in this case. George Gershwin, of course, a famous musician. It says followed by a comma, followed by a space in your first name. So I'm going to do a comma and then my first name. So let's say that I type, I don't know, say I type Ira and not George. And let's say that I forget my semicolon at the end here and I click submit. It should give me an error. It says, oh, you forgot some stuff. And it's trying to help you. It even tells you I need a semicolon. So I should be able to go back. I think it'll let me go back. And I should be able to try that again. So I can fix this if I put my semicolon, submit. But I'm still not going to like this because my name isn't Ira, it's George. Yep, didn't like that. So I can go back and do that again. So let's try it one more time. Notice I went back to work area. And I type in George, click submit, and that should work. Yep, it likes that. So basically what I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to do, again, you are to do My Programming Lab, chapters 1 and 2, And when you log in, you will see it over here. Now, it's really, really confusing. In my programming lab, it's chapters 12, excuse me, our textbook is chapters 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. So basically, this chapter 12 is our textbook's chapter 12. It's really confusing. So I'm going to have to reword this in here. I apologize for this. I'll reword this so it says My Programming Chapter 12 and Chapter 13. I'll reword that. So just be aware that the original My Programming Lab related to a full, complete Java textbook. So I will reword this. So you're going to be doing this area of work right here. So you're going to start with Chapter 12 and 13. This relates directly to our book, and you are to do that for next week. Again, you need to sign up for My Programming Lab first, read these chapters in the text, and do the web search, read over the syllabus, so it'll make it a lot less painful for everybody next week. If you have any questions, email me. If you need to reach me, under the faculty button, here's my email. I'm an adjunct, so that's the best way to reach me. You can call this number, but you won't get me. You can also email me as well, but email is your best option to reach me, and I will respond within 24 hours notice. So if you have any questions, email me. Good luck, and I look forward to meeting you next week.